Today, I began my journey to write 90,000 words in 30 days. That's not a typo. 90,000. Most people aim for 50K during their novel writing challenges, whatever they do, in November. I'm going for almost double that. And I'm documenting the whole thing and also revealing my Japanese cyberpunk novel that I'll be working on this November. So here's what we're gonna be going over. First is the brutal math when it comes to how to break down a 90,000 word novel into sustainable chunks. The second thing we'll be going over will be the prep that I put into creating this world and everything else. And the third one, we're going to just talk about the novel itself, which is a Japanese cyberpunk with feudal influences from Japan. So let's take a look. Ultimately, we're trying to answer this question. Can I finish a 90,000 word novel by the end of November? Let's find out. Let's start with the brutal numbers. We're looking at 90,000 words over the next 30 days. And for simple math, we can do that very simply. That's roughly about 3,000 words per day. And that means every single day with no breaks, and there will be no, I'll catch up tomorrow. But here's the problem with that math. Life will happen. You have a bad day, you get sick, you have a crash out on day 17. All these things are possible when it comes to writing a novel. But more importantly, life will just happen. And I think that's kind of the thing you have to forgive yourself on. So you're probably wondering how I'm gonna do this. Well, I'm creating buffers. If there's a day when I can write more words, I will. Now, 3,000 words is a lot, but most days I'll be aiming for 3,500 words per day to create a buffer of roughly 15,000 words, just in case I do have a bad day or life just gets in the way. By having 15,000 words ready to go in a buffer, that kind of gives me a few days worth of leverage just in case I don't hit that 3,000 words or if something just came up. The secret to higher word count isn't writing faster, it's writing more consistently. Build in failure tolerance rather than focusing on writing faster. But you're probably wondering, how did I prepare for such a challenge? Well, let's discuss that now. First, we need to set up our writing environment. That means putting your phone in airplane mode, literally, and removing as many distractions as you can from your browser. You just want to have a word processor, and for my challenge, I will be using the Reedsy Studio because I am taking part in the Reedsy challenge. Second, I set up an overall theme view of my characters. You know, as a hybrid pantser plotter, I did about just focusing on how the characters will grow over the course of time. And from there, I will write scenes before putting them into my wonderful story grid, which will have most of the things by the end. And basically that's my whole system. The third and probably most important thing for me is to leave on a cliffhanger. Yes, it's gonna be counterintuitive at first, but you want to leave every day you write on a type of cliffhanger. This way, you can not have to focus in on writing on a blank page and you know where to start. And here's the part that's a little bit unconventional when it comes to writing a deep novel. I did not do a full outline. In fact, you know, a lot of people, when they're writing something this in depth, they want to have a lot of it done previously, especially for your plotters. But me being a hybrid pantser plotter means I want to kind of create like enough of a framework that I can play in my sandbox. So that is basically, I'm going to do a lot of discovery work while writing. This allows me to build an organic story that feels natural and overall really fun to write at times. But let's really think about this for a second. Is there really time to discuss whether we're going to be pantsing or plotting? I really think that's basically a distraction, and realistically, we need to talk about it. Here's what I learned about pantsing and plotting over my time as a sports journalist. The outline doesn't really matter as much as your relationship with the uncertain. You know, some writers need to know every single detail about their story. Cool. Others like to discover their stories as they write. That's also cool. Ultimately, this comes down to this question. Do you understand your character's fundamental issue? When we talk about your character's fundamental problem, we don't mean their external conflict. We don't mean their goal. We mean their problem. The psychological, the moral, the emotional need, the flaw they need to overcome. If you don't know that, you will probably need an outline. And no amount of outlining can save you if you don't know what the core issue is. If you're a pantser who knows this, right away. But either way, you have to know what the fundamental problem and flaw that your character has to overcome. So what is the novel that I'm working on that I need to write 90,000 words in November? Well, it is under the project name Project Cyber Academy, and you can kind of figure out where I'm going with this. It's a cyberpunk tale filtered through the lens of Japanese feudalism. Now, most cyberpunk stories have a mega corporation that function like governments. In my story, they are pretty much the government. They're already one. So think of it like this: the CEO, pretty much like a shogun. His executive board, daimyo regional lords with armies of their own. And basically the middle management, you can kind of figure that out, the noble samurai. My story's protagonist, a character named Eiji. Eiji has been promoted from peasant to becoming one of the samurai, a very rare thing in culturally, but it does happen from time to time. This novel will focus on him becoming and navigating the whole corporate structure and everything like that. So it's going to be a very interesting tale as you explore, life in a system where loyalty is going to be part of your job to the saga. Think of this as Blade Runner meets feudal Japan in a school environment. This is going to be a fun one, and I'm writing the whole thing this November. But like I said, all this planning doesn't really matter if I don't finish the novel. Here's my system for succeeding this November. The first thing, writing 3,500 words with buffer days built in. The second thing is I don't have full outlines, basically relying heavily on discovery work, but also understanding my characters to a high degree. Basically, and lastly, we're writing a feudal Japan in a cyberpunk world over 90,000 words. Now the question is, can I really do it? So here's my question for you. What's your story's DNA if you're taking part in the November challenge? What's the sentence version of your story? Drop it in the comments and I'll be commenting on everyone and liking them. Tomorrow I'll be focusing on how to succeed in your November challenge without any special tools or anything like that. We don't want complicated systems, we just want to finish the challenge. So if you're doing the challenge, please like this video and stay tuned for more from this channel. Thanks and everyone watching.